Hello and welcome to Astute Business Solutions presentation of zero-cost PeopleSoft migration to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure powered by Astute's Managed Infrastructure Services. My name is Joe Finlinson and I'm Astute's Chief Technology Officer, and I'll be presenting this content to you today. If you're interested in discussing the content with us further, please feel free to book a one-on-one meeting with us. You can do this by scanning the QR code you see on the screen with your phone and going to our sign-up page, or by putting the link you see on this page into your browser and doing a self-schedule from there. So jumping right in, for those of you who aren't familiar with Astute Business Solutions, we've been in business since 2006, and we're headquartered in Pleasanton, California. Our founders are ex-PeopleSoft, ex-KPMG, and have a lot of experience in consulting and PeopleSoft solutions. We are also deeply involved with Oracle. We are a Gold Partner, Cloud Select Velocity, and an MSP. We have experience across many different industries: financial services, healthcare, education, retail, nonprofit. We are acutely focused on the cloud at this point. We have many certifications on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and platform services. Finally, you can also see many of our solutions in the OCI marketplace. We've created a chatbot by the name of Guru. We've also created Fast Test, which is a value-add extension on top of PeopleSoft's PeopleSoft test framework. You can find more about those in the marketplace. Suffice it to say, Astute Business Solutions, our goal is really to help you get the most out of your PeopleSoft investment by utilizing Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Next question you may ask, because we know that you have lots of choices when it comes to cloud, is why Oracle? Well, Oracle started from the ground up thinking about what it would take to build a cloud that was purpose-built for enterprise. While other clouds certainly have their strengths as well, I believe that there is no one better at running Oracle applications than Oracle. So when it comes to running the database or any of Oracle's enterprise resource planning applications, the best place to do that is on Oracle's cloud. So now let's talk a little bit about the journey to cloud. And every organization has a different journey. And this is one of those places where one size certainly does not fit all. Maybe you need cloud for non-production. Maybe someone else needs cloud for production. Maybe some people are using cloud as an integration layer, whereas others are using cloud as their full data center. Really, cloud can do a lot of things, and it's really up to your organization to determine what it needs cloud for. Teddy Roosevelt said that comparison is the thief of joy. And I really believe this, and I think it's appropriate to our cloud discussion, because oftentimes we tend to look around the room and want to do exactly as someone else is doing, when in reality, it's not what someone else is doing, really, but what we're doing that actually matters. Other organizations should be doing what works for them, and you need to be doing what works for you. We can contrast this quote with another quote by the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "We may have all come on different ships, but we're on the same boat now." And I really like this thought and this imagery, because it shows that just as Martin Luther King was talking about how people came to America, when we think about the cloud and we think about computing, we've all been through quite a journey as things went from these big time-sharing systems down to the personal computer and then back into data centers and now again back onto these hyperscale machines. We all came at this from different perspectives, but certainly if your organization is not thinking about cloud now, it will be very shortly. So this is a picture of Mount Everest, and I really like the Everest analogy because the idea of moving to cloud is a lot like climbing a mountain. And as I've said already in this presentation, one thing we need to think about is though we're all headed in a similar direction, your goal may actually be on a different peak, and that's totally okay. So let's talk a little bit about Everest. So 800 people attempt to summit each year. Almost everyone makes it to base camp, but very few go all the way to the summit. And I think that this is important to call out because it's not just about whether or not you're able to get to the summit. For a lot of people, it's the journey. And I think that that journey is also really important as we talk about cloud and as you think about your organization's approach to cloud. Another thing to note is that everyone has help. And help on Everest comes by way of Sherpas, which are really an ethnic group in the Nepalese region. These people live by the mountain and they understand it really well. The Sherpa actually has several key roles. The first role of the Sherpa is to be there as a guide. Because again, they live in the area, they understand the weather patterns, they understand the trails, they understand what happens and how it works. Secondly, the Sherpa is there to keep you safe. Really, when you sign up to go up Everest, the Sherpa actually makes the final call as to whether or not a group will go all the way up to the summit or whether they will stop, because the Sherpa is responsible and accountable for keeping everyone safe. The Sherpa is also a helper. The Sherpa is known as the camp cook, the first aid person, the person who helps people set up camp. Really, this is a person who is there to make sure that you're able to succeed on your climb. Finally, the Sherpa is there as a leader. And this is really similar to the first idea where we talked about the Sherpa being a guide. But the leader really is out there to make sure that the trail is safe, that the trail is prepared, that everyone knows where they're going and why they're doing what they're doing and how they're going to get there. And as we talk about the idea of needing Sherpas when we climb a mountain, I believe that we also need Sherpas when we climb to the cloud or when we approach a journey to the cloud. So the next question you may ask is, Astute Business Solutions, why are you guys in this and what really qualifies you to be our partner as we look on a journey to cloud? So the first one I'm going to call out is that we know the way. And I talked about how in 2006 our co-founders left PeopleSoft and started this company called Astute. And at that point, they were acutely focused on consulting services. And that could be consulting by way of applying bundles and upgrades and all of that core PeopleSoft work that was really important in 2006 through probably about 2014. They really understand how PeopleSoft applications work. And as you think about moving PeopleSoft to the cloud, you want to be with someone who really understands your application. To further demonstrate that, Astute Business Solutions has more than 25 on-time, on-budget migrations to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And this is significant because it's more migrations than any other Oracle partner, PeopleSoft migrations than any other Oracle partner has done to date, which we believe puts us in a prime position to be able to say that we are the best when it comes to moving your PeopleSoft applications up to the cloud. We also have a set of really solid reference customers. In fact, all 25 of our lift and shift to the cloud, all 25 lift and shift customers are referenceable But today I thought we would maybe just highlight two. The first is care.org. And as you can see in there, CARE is a multinational, and they operate in 93 countries, helping 63 million people through 950 programs designed to combat the effects of both natural and man-made disasters. So CARE runs a huge 5 terabyte PeopleSoft FSCM instance, and Astute Business Solutions helped them move to cloud. We were responsible for their move, and we also help them manage their environment today. Another customer that we're really proud of is Gallaudet University, located just outside Washington, D.C. These are the stewards of American Sign Language. They have a great mission. They're a great university, and they've gone on record to say that when they had Astute help them move to OCI, they were able to save more than $1 million a year, 55% reduction in project cycle time, and deployments that used to take over a week can now be done in an hour. It's pretty significant. Another area where Astute really shines is our approach to architecture. And this is something we're really quite proud of. If you go out to the Oracle documentation on Oracle Cloud, you can see that there's this page here, Learn About Deploying PeopleSoft on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. This is a document that Astute Business Solutions co-wrote with Oracle, and it talks about how to deploy PeopleSoft applications on OCI. Further down on that same page, you can actually see a reference architecture, a diagram here that shows a whole bunch of technical things, but this at the crux shows you how you would deploy PeopleSoft on OCI and how you would separate out your process schedulers, your application servers, your Elasticsearch clusters, your web server. It really shows the full stack. And the reason I share this with you today is to help you see that we really know what we're talking about when we say that we can move to cloud, because we actually authored the standard that Oracle now uses with Oracle. And this is how everyone now deploys PeopleSoft to OCI. So taking a step back, Astute Business Solutions, what qualifies us to be your partner? We know the way. We've done a lot of migrations. We've got solid references. And we actually wrote the book, literally wrote the reference architecture on how your PeopleSoft applications should be deployed to OCI. Again, it wouldn't be a good presentation if I didn't give you a quick call to action, a second call to action, that if you'd like to talk with us about your specific environment, feel free to pull up your phone right now, scan that QR code, or hit pause on the video and type in that URL into your browser and set up a meeting with us. There's absolutely no obligation. We'd love to talk with you about this and just see where you are on your journey and if there's any way that Astute could help. So moving right along, when you think about PeopleSoft and Oracle Cloud, there are several plays that really become front of mind. And again, as I kind of led into this section, everyone's got a different stance and everyone is sitting in a different place. No organization is the same. We may have similar stories, and the way that we go about doing things may be similar, but why you need to do something one way or another is really up to you. So here are some of the main plays. Lift and shift. This is the idea of taking your PeopleSoft exactly as it is today, moving it to the cloud. Move and improve. Take your PeopleSoft as it exists today, move it to cloud, and while you're doing that, see if you can improve upon things. Now, you could do that in several ways. You could re-architect the back end. This is like the way that your servers are laid out, or the way that your servers are organized, or the type of capacity that the system has. You could take on a PeopleTools upgrade, or you could take on a Get Me Current to get onto the latest PeopleSoft image. There are lots of things that you could do around move and improve. As I've been around the country talking to lots of PeopleSoft customers about Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and their journey to cloud, one thing that has come up is that many organizations don't have a solid approach to disaster recovery. This is another prime use case for OCI, and actually one that's really easy to implement. This is something that can be done in a matter of weeks and with relatively low risk, because your team doesn't have to stop running production, but this would give them a great way to be able to move up to the cloud, try things out, and see how it goes. Next up is Oracle Management Cloud. And this is a PaaS offering. That means Platform as a Service. This is an Oracle Platform as a Service offering that will help you to manage your PeopleSoft environment, whether it's on-premise or in the cloud, or both. And it really provides full transparency into how your PeopleSoft application is running on the hardware. And it's got a really great plugin that goes straight into PeopleSoft, so you can actually even monitor business transactions and see how things are going there on your process scheduler. Another big play as we talk about lift and shift, move and improve. Some people decide only to move non-production environments onto the cloud, and they do that largely so that they can take advantage of PeopleSoft Cloud Manager, which is a PeopleSoft pillar that has been purpose-built specifically for OCI that will allow you to manage the life cycle of your PeopleSoft applications. You can think about this as being able to deploy templatized environments, being able to do one-click PeopleTools upgrades, being able to better drive and automate the PeopleSoft image update process. Another thing that can be done on the cloud, testing as a service. Another thing, of course, would be to move production to the cloud. And certainly that's one where we would love everyone to take advantage of the great speed and efficiency that can be had by hosting your PeopleSoft production environments on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Selective adoption as a service. This is a service that you can take up once you're in the cloud. And then once you're there with PeopleSoft, there are other platform services. We talked about a platform service already in Oracle Management Cloud, but there are also platform services such as Oracle Analytics Cloud or Oracle Digital Assistant, which could enable chatbots. These are two areas where Astute is really excited about the progress that Oracle's making, and we've made significant investments in being able to help customers adopt Oracle Analytics Cloud and Oracle Digital Assistant. So this gives you a piece or a picture of just some of the things that you could do with your PeopleSoft environments on the cloud. Again, I would call to your memory that every journey is different, and that could mean that you're talking about digital assistants, could mean that you're talking about running production on the cloud, could be that you're only talking about running disaster recovery on the cloud. But the important thing is that every journey is different, and you need to do what works best for you. So really, the takeaway I'd like you to come out of this presentation with is, what journey works best for you? Where do you need to be on this journey to the cloud? So now that we've talked a little bit about why Oracle and your journey, and we've talked about Astute, we thought we'd jump in and talk a little bit more about what migration to the cloud looks like. So migration to the cloud is really a very standard, very practiced project. The first part is preparing, and preparing is everything from defining the contract to who's going to be there and what needs to happen, and in general, what is the timeline that we want to adhere to. Okay? The next item is doing a detailed discovery, and this is where you're going to dive real deep. You're going to talk about your deployment and your customizations and your integrations and networks and how your PeopleSoft works and what you do with your PeopleSoft applications that helps your organization run the way that it needs to run. The intent of the detailed discovery session is really to learn everything that needs to be learned in order for you to be able to have a successful migration to the cloud. Once we've done the detailed discovery, we actually go in and create a design, a formal design that not only talks about servers and cores and memory and networks and all of that good stuff, but also talks about what the future state needs to look like. So what your integrations should look like and how they're going to connect and how people are going to do the work that they need to do. We come out of the design and then go into a build phase. We build it out. It doesn't take very long. And from there, we actually begin testing to validate that our assumptions from the detailed design and detailed discovery actually come out true as you would expect them to. And then we go live. So a lot of people come in and say, well, that's really great that you just talked about this project, but what does it actually look like if you were to put it on a calendar? And I'm going to tell you that in general, we found that the average project duration for a move to cloud is 8 weeks. Some people take longer, some people are shorter. And a lot of that depends on the complexity and the number of pillars and really how your specific PeopleSoft environment works. But taking an average case, 8 weeks, this is what an 8-week plan would look like. You've got about a week of preparation, and the discovery starts at the same time. Discovery takes 2 weeks. Design takes a week and a half. The build takes about a week. And then you test for almost 3 weeks. And then you go live at the end of the 3 weeks. And then there's some hypercare support rounding out the end of the 8th week. When you think about what a team looks like for a migration to the cloud, you'll have an engagement manager, a project manager, an infrastructure administrator, a PeopleSoft administrator, a database administrator, and of course functional analysts as needed to support your business. This is really what Astute would bring to the table, and in some cases we would need to bring multiples of these people depending on, again, the size and complexity of your project and really what we're about. When you think about what you would need to bring to the project, we would encourage you to mirror an engagement manager and a project manager, and we're happy to work hand in hand with your administrators, if you have them, and your functional analysts. So that's what a managed, or what a cloud migration would look like. And now jumping into managed services. And as we talked about zero cost migration, we talk about zero cost migration enabled by managed services. And we're going to talk about why. So 5 reasons. The first is no hassle maintenance. You don't want to be worrying about patching. You don't want to be worrying about infrastructure stability. When you take up a managed service, the service level agreement takes care of the maintenance, so you don't have to worry about it. Secondly, due to your service level agreement, you get really fast response times. So these are from the time that you log a ticket to the time that someone answers your ticket and resolves it, it's much faster than if you were to do it on your own. Thirdly, proactive protection and support. And the real intent here is delighted customers remain customers and continue to subscribe and will even expand their footprint. So our intent is to monitor your environment very, very closely and ensure that it's appropriately patched and that it's performing the way that it needs to perform, and really that any problems that you would see are actually taken care of before you see them, so that it's not a problem for you and your users, so you can do your work. Reliable uptime. It's really expensive nowadays to build an infrastructure in a personally owned data center that is fully resilient. When you move to the cloud, you're able to take advantage of these great savings because of the economies of scale, and you can have a truly reliable, very impressive infrastructure supporting you that frankly is just not attainable anymore at the individual company level. Finally, peace of mind. So you pick up a managed service so that you can go to sleep at night. Many of us who've been in IT for any amount of time have probably carried the dreaded pager and have had to pull off some of those all-nighters when something goes wrong. Again, the intent of a managed service would be so that you don't have to worry about that. And hopefully with the proactive monitoring, things are taken care of so that not only are you not getting woken up in the middle of the night, but we're not getting woken up in the middle of the night either. So these are 5 reasons that you would, again, be better off with managed services. No hassle maintenance, fast response times, proactive protection and support, reliable uptime, and peace of mind. So when we talk about what a managed service specifically would look like for you if you were to sign up with Astute, we offer a service called Selective Adoption as a service. And this is a service purpose-built for PeopleSoft. So it includes the following: infrastructure, database, and PeopleSoft administration and support. So this is everything from the hardware really up through how your application is configured and how it works technically. We're there to support you. Next up is PeopleSoft Security Administration and Compliance Reporting. So this is helping you manage your PeopleSoft security and helping to ensure that you are compliant with the certifications that your industry requires. Quarterly infrastructure patching. These are Oracle's critical patch updates and PeopleTools patching. This is something you get effectively for free when you sign up for Selective Adoption as a service. Quarterly PeopleSoft image defect patching and PeopleSoft feature selective adoption as you request. So each quarter when a new image comes out, we'll review the contents of that image with you, and you'll get to choose how and what gets applied from that image. We're going to highly encourage you to take on all of the defects, to patch all the defects. And when it comes to new features, you can choose how and when you would like those to be implemented. Selective Adoption as a service also comes with a PeopleTools version upgrade every year and an annual Get Me Current. So every year you're guaranteed to be on the latest image at least once a year. So that's Selective Adoption as a service. And now that we've covered all of these things, we're finally to this zero cost discussion. And as we've kind of been testing this idea with people, some come up to us and say, well, is zero cost really just a gimmick? Is this really about just trying to get someone to talk to you and you know you're gonna really end up paying for this somewhere else? And I'm here to tell you that zero cost is a real, legitimate, valid offer. We want you as a customer. We feel like we have existed up to this point specifically to be able to do what we're doing now. All of the work that we've done since 2006, understanding PeopleSoft, running PeopleSoft, managing PeopleSoft, all of that has led up to this, where now we're ready to offer a comprehensive service. And we're so confident in our ability to move you to the cloud that we'll do it for free if you'll invest back in us and give us the privilege of being able to help you manage your PeopleSoft environments. And that's really it in a nutshell. This is the best pricing you'll find anywhere. If you legitimately find a better price, let us know, and we will we'll do better. We really want your business that badly. So a question that often comes up is, what is the cost of a migration to OCI? And this is a difficult one to answer, and the reason it's difficult is that everyone's environment is a little bit different. Everyone's integrations are different, and you have to be careful when you look at those things, because it can throw things out of whack really fast. But if we were to just go on t-shirt pricing and talk about simple environments to complex environments, in general, we would say that a migration to OCI costs somewhere between $150,000 and $500,000. On average, it takes 8 weeks to move a PeopleSoft pillar to OCI. Some move faster, some move slower. We talked about that earlier. But the important part to note is really we do what's best for you and your business. And if you were to approach us today and ask us to do a move, your quote, after we go through some due diligence, will likely come out to something somewhere between $150,000 and $500,000. So an objection that you might raise is that because we're migrating you for free, the project would be slow and won't be a priority. And that's absolutely false, because we're going to work on the project with the same commitment we would for a paid migration and commit to the timelines at the time we sign our contract. The reason that becomes really important to us is that we're on the hook to deliver that migration for you at no charge. So the faster we can get the project done correctly, the less money we lose on your migration. Next question. What is the managed services commitment? Well, the commitment that we're asking for is 3 years, but it's negotiable, and if you feel that you need more or less, let's talk about it. Something else to note is that from the time that you sign the contract, the monthly service fees are billed from that effective date. Another question that comes up, what can I expect to pay for selective adoption as a service? Well, again, the monthly fee is going to depend on the complexity of your environment and how many PeopleSoft pillars you're running. But if we were to again look at t-shirt sizing, the price would be somewhere between $20,000 and $80,000 per month. And that is in addition to your OCI subscription. Another point that some people might say is, well, you're just going to make up the migration cost over the term of the agreement. And I've spent a lot of time working on this offer with my peers, and I'm here to tell you right now that that is absolutely false. We've not changed our price for managed services, nor have we played with the OCI subscription costs in order to make up for a free migration. The reason we're asking for a 3-year commitment is so that we can amortize our labor cost or our loss over the term of the contract. So another question someone might have is, why purchase OCI via Astute as a managed service provider instead of just going directly to Oracle? And what's wonderful about the MSP model is that it really allows for simplified contracting, simplified billing, full life cycle support, and a personalized experience for you as the customer. Honestly, as a managed service provider, we can offer the same discounts and pricing you'd get if you were to go directly from Oracle. You're going to get the exact same infrastructure SLA that you would get as if you signed with Oracle. And in addition to that, you're going to obtain application SLAs by way of our managed service that you would not get if you went directly with Oracle. So that covers the bit about zero cost and some of the details around that. Next up is the business case. Astute's willing to help you with your business case. We are not afraid to write a business case. We're not afraid to come in and figure out with you if this is something that is good for your company or not. And honestly, if the numbers don't work out, the numbers don't work out, and that's okay. We want to help you do what is best for you, for your company. Generally, we're able to see about 25% savings over what you currently spend. That does not include labor, because we feel like you're not going to lay people off because you move to cloud. You're going to just move people to do different things. However, you'll find some significant savings in the hardware, not having to do a hardware refresh. And that's really where a lot of that 25% comes from. We've seen customers that are seeing over $1 million a year, over $1 million over 5 years in savings. There are a lot of cases to be made around soft savings and intangibles. And again, this is something we would love to have the privilege of talking to you about. And we're happy to help you write that. So finally, Again, third time I'm pitching this call to action. We really want to meet you. Book a one-on-one meeting with us. You can do that by following the link you see on the screen, or picking up your phone and trying to take a picture of that QR code. If you bring it up and take a picture of it with either Android or iPhone, it will give you a link where you can just click right over and schedule a meeting with us. Some of the key features I just would love to highlight here is that this is a no pressure engagement. If you don't want it or can't buy it right now for whatever reason, we're going to follow your lead. We'd love to have the opportunity to really sit down with you and do a half-day session valued at $10,000. Totally complimentary. We found that it really helps people to be able to do that. If you're serious about really looking at the cloud, we would be really serious about meeting with you and going through that detail. And the first step to doing that would really be booking a quick little discovery call with us. Again, we want you to be our customer. We want to have the privilege of working for you and with you to help your PeopleSoft be the best that it can be. And that really is our presentation today. Thanks for taking the last half hour or so to sit down and do a deep dive. Again, we would be absolutely honored if you would give us a call, and we'd just love to talk to you. So thank you, and hope to hear from you soon.